We live in a world where productivity has become extremely toxic, where people obsess over finding apps, tools, and strategies to be productive, which ultimately leads them to feeling burnt out and stressed out. And recently, I've had this huge realization that productivity is a balancing act of effort and rest. And in the era of toxic productivity, the problem that we face is that we focus 100% of our energy on the effort side of trying to find apps, tools, and strategies to be more productive and give zero focus to the importance of rest, which creates this imbalance. And this imbalance makes being productive impossible. And I think that in the era of toxic productivity, we need to start recognizing the importance of rest, because I think our minds are like canvases. Whereas we do things throughout the day, we fill up the canvas. And the only way to clear the canvas is to step away, take a break, and rest. Because when you do that, you come back to a blank canvas and can be productive again. When you give yourself moments of rest, you end up clearing your mind, which ultimately makes you more productive. And so in this video, I want to talk about how embracing rest in our lives can make us more productive, and talk about 6 strategies I use in my own life to get rest and be more productive. And the first strategy is give yourself permission to rest. When it comes to this topic of rest, I think it's important to begin with talking about giving yourself permission to rest, because in our society, rest is almost seen as a sign of weakness, where people are eating lunch at their desks, sending emails after work hours, and working on the weekends. And I think in our overworked society, it's important to consciously give yourself permission to rest, because as I said, our minds are like canvases, where once they fill up, the only thing to clear them is to step back, rest, and then your canvas will blank again. Rest is the most undervalued thing in our society, because when you see the benefits of rest, you realize how vital rest is in order to be productive, because rest clears your mind, reduces stress, boosts creativity, and heals your body, which ultimately makes you more productive. Rest can accomplish things that no app created by a Silicon Valley bro can accomplish. So see the benefits of rest and give yourself permission to rest, because rest is the key to productivity. Now, the second strategy is begin the first hour of the day with zero stimulation. So as I said a couple times now, our mind is a canvas, and the only thing that can clear that canvas is rest. However, I do think there's an exception to that, and that's when you wake up in the morning and first thing you check your emails, scroll through social media, and start tasks. Because doing these highly stimulating things first thing in the morning is like drawing on that canvas with permanent marker. And rest can't clear these things from the canvas. They remain there until you reset and wake up the next morning. I think that the first hour of the day sets the stage to how the rest of the day is going to go. And if you start your day doing these very stimulating things, you're going to have trouble focusing and being productive the rest of the day, because you never gave your mind time to wake up. And so I think it's important to wake up slowly, and at least for the first hour of the day, not look at your phone, not check emails, and just do simple things. Because your mind didn't evolve to wake up with that level of stimulation. But when you wake up slowly and give your mind time to wake up, you'll be able to focus more on completing tasks throughout the day. And this is a learned habit that you need to create. But trust me, if you get that first hour of the day right and don't start the day doing all these stimulating things, the rest of the day, you'll be able to focus more and ultimately be more productive. Now, my third strategy is find activities that clear your mind. Now, it's important to know that when I talk about rest, that rest doesn't mean sitting on your couch watching Netflix while you text people. Rest is about doing activities that clear your mind. For example, whenever my mental canvas gets full, I like to go in nature, because it disconnects me from tasks, clears my mind, and makes me focused on the present moment. And when I come back from nature, I always come back to a blank canvas and can be productive again. Spending time outside is something that allows me to clear my mind, and I'm very aware of that. And I think it's important that everybody find that activity that allows them to clear their mind, and this is going to be different for everyone. I clear my mind by being outdoors. Other people might clear their mind by playing a sport, or getting a pedicure, or riding their motorcycle, or sitting outside drinking a cup of coffee. But whatever that activity is, be consciously aware of the activities that allow you to clear your mind. And whenever your mental canvas gets full, do the activity so you can come back to a clear canvas again to be more productive. Now, my fourth strategy is establish boundaries on yourself. Back in the day when I was working with other people, some of my coworkers would always have that Microsoft Teams green available status light on, whether that was on their lunch break, or at night, or on weekends. Some of my coworkers were always available and they never stopped working. And it wasn't because we were working in this toxic work environment where the expectation was to never stop working, but I think it was because people didn't establish boundaries on themselves. We live in a world where it's becoming harder and harder to separate your life and your work because we get email alerts on our phones. We have work computers in our homes, and we have Microsoft Teams alerts on our phones at all times. And because of this, we're not getting that separation of work and life like we used to. And so in order to get that disconnect, in order to get that rest that we desperately need in order to be productive, you have to establish boundaries on yourself and take down alerts from your phone. Turn off your computer when your workday is over, and don't make yourself available outside of work hours. Because if you don't establish those boundaries, you'll never get that rest that you need in order to be productive. And as I keep mentioning, when you establish these boundaries on yourself and prioritize rest in your life, you ultimately have a clearer mind and you can be more productive. Now, before I move on to my next strategy, I just want to share a shocking statistic that I read the other day. Did you guys know that only 33% of you guys are subscribed? Ain't that something, ladies and gentlemen, ain't that something? Well, my fifth strategy is embrace days of rest. Probably the biggest lesson that I have learned in this experience of being my own boss and creating my own schedule is the importance, or better yet, the need of days of rest. And these are days when you're not focused on accomplishing tasks or getting stuff done, but you're just doing simple things that allow you to clear your mind and get some rest, like wake up slowly and enjoy a cup of coffee, then hang out at the park and take in the sun, and finish the day with cooking a good meal. You're just resting, and this is so important because as human beings, our minds didn't evolve to focus on tasks 7 days a week, but we need one, ideally 2 days, where we just focus on rest and resetting our minds and not accomplishing tasks. Personally, I spend so much time writing and so much time being creative that I've noticed if I don't give myself these days of rest, I get in this tunnel vision where I can't be creative, I can't think of new ideas, and I can't even think. But when I give myself 2 days of rest in a row, I always come back excited with a plethora of new ideas. So don't think that you're superhuman and you don't need days of rest, because everybody needs days of rest in order to be productive. Now, my final strategy is simply find the balance of effort and rest. So I want to finish the video with this. We're living in a world where we've created this extremely toxic relationship with productivity. We think the answer to productivity in life is dozens of apps, tools, and strategies. But these things ultimately make us stressed out and burnt out. The true answer to being productive in life is simply finding that balance between effort and rest, and not putting too much focus on effort nor rest, because no human being can work 7 days in a row. No human being can juggle 10 tasks at once. No human being can be productive without rest. And so we need to see the important role that rest plays in order to be productive in life, because without rest, productivity becomes toxic. And so instead of finding that perfect app that is going to make you more productive, try to find that balance between effort and rest, because that is the true path to being productive in life. And with that, muchas gracias. Que tengan un buen día. I think this is video 150. Pretty big deal. Nos vemos, chicos.